Hey guys, it's Charles Williams from inside the principal's office, and we told you that we got another show coming for you. So make sure that you are here with us this Saturday, July 31st, for another great show with me and, of course, my co-host Michael McWilliams. Speaking of which, check it. Wait, we're in the same room. We're in the same room. Do you know why we're in the same room? Mike, tell them why we're in the same room.
We are having our first live event. It's the first ever Inside the Principal Office Leadership Meetup. Hey, learn, grow, lead. It's going to be an entire day of learning and growing together in that safe place, that community of learners that we are building for all school leaders. You may not be here for the entire day, but you can join us for a snippet of us. Join us Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern on all of SchoolRubric's social media platforms. Can you believe we've been doing this all this time and this is the first day that we've ever met in person?
Today.
It's going to be incredible. I know you wish you registered. I know you wish you were here.
So yeah, make sure you catch a snippet, just a snippet, Saturday morning. We'll look forward to seeing you there.
We'll see you there. Inside
The principal's office. Hello and welcome to Inside the Principal's Office. I don't know if you've noticed, but things look a little bit different because this is the live event. We've been waiting a long time and we are finally here. Mac, how are you today?
I am nervous.
Yeah, just a little
but I'm getting over the jitters on the inside. And I know that that will leave because we're talking about things that I'm very, very passionate about. I am so excited to be here to meet you. We've seen each other in person, 48 hours now?
I think so.
48 whole hours. We've been doing things virtually, and I am just so excited to be here with you and with all of these people who have joined us this morning to talk about leadership. It's going to be a great day.
Well, for some reason, if this is your first episode, we'll introduce ourselves. Well, I'm assuming it isn't, but my name is Charles Williams. I'm a principal out of Chicago, and I do a slew of other things, an educational consultant. I am one of the co-hosts of this show, obviously. I pop onto office hours. I'm an author, a keynote speaker, just all the things, right? Because I love what I do, so I try to expand that as much as I possibly can. And as we said, this is the live event. So today we have so many things happening outside of this show. So if you're not here, we're happy that you're here on the air with us. And so let us know that you're here. Please feel free. Do not just sit back and watch. Do not just receive. We want you to be active participants. So please make sure that you are dropping comments, that you are letting us know that you are here. Drop those lines so we can give you a shout out just as much as we are giving our crowd here. I know you guys can't see them, but we can see them. All their beautiful smiling faces. So make sure that we get to see you as well. Mac, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm the old cat of this pair. I am a career principal. This year is my 20th year as an elementary school principal, and I am passionate about educating students. I am the founder of thelearningleader.live, which is a consulting company. And we say consulting, but what I really want to do is what we're doing here is I really feel called to build safe spaces for leaders. Leadership can be lonely if you allow yourself to be lonely, but we are building an environment where you can have those conversations. I think about 20 years ago, collaboration was not the hot topic. We didn't talk about collaboration, but I wish I had the opportunity to have some of the conversations that we have in this space. And so I'm just excited about that. I'm excited about other leaders. And I just know that I'm called to help other people become the best version of themselves. And everyone in this room and everyone watching us, you are so influential. I just want to ask that you would leverage your influence. Can we borrow your influence today? We want to make sure that you've shared this broadcast on whatever platform that you are watching. We talk about a safe space. Something else that I want to make sure that you're aware of is our Facebook group. We do this show twice a month. This is our first meetup. Who knows? Maybe we may be going to another city sometimes soon. But we really want to build a dialogue, a conversation. So it's not join the show, it's join the conversation. So we will even extend this conversation to our Facebook group. If you have not yet joined the Inside the Principal Office Facebook group, I double dog dare you. Yes, I do.
Just double dog, man.
Double, triple dog?
Triple dog.
Quadruple dog. I quadruple dog dare you to go now and join the Inside the Principal Office Facebook group. This conversation doesn't end at the end of this show. This conversation will continue. It will. So today we're talking about authentic leadership. Authentic leadership. What are your initial thoughts, Charles?
You know, so Mac, when I hear about authentic leadership, you know, we talk a lot about being yourself, right? You know, and somebody I heard once said that it's exhausting trying to be somebody else. And there's so many leaders, so many types of leadership out there. And so it's important to be yourself. But I think the thing that has been bothering me, and I'm just going to be honest with everybody here, with everybody on the show, you know, the thing that I've been watching and processing all morning, I've been thinking about this question. And the story that I keep coming across is Simone Biles, right? And we talk about being authentic, and yet as leaders, there's this stigma attached to us, where if we show any type of vulnerability, or if we show any type of weakness, it means that we are less than, right? And Simone's going through that, but what I applaud is that she says, you know what? Not only am I going through this, but I'm sharing this with you. And what I hope, not only that young people, and if you're watching young people, it's important, right? Mental health is important. But for us as leaders, if we want our people to be cognizant of their mental health, if we want them to be cognizant of where they're at, then we need to lead by example. And oftentimes that stigma doesn't let us. And so I think that's one of the things that when we're talking about being authentic, we really need to be authentic, like authentically authentic, not putting on a show of the type of leader we think we need to be.
Right. I think that, again, when I look, I've been in education 26 years. I've been in the principal seat for 20 years. I was an AP for 2 years. So 22 years leading staffs, and I'm a young man. You know, I got my first school. I was named at 27. I'm a summer birthday. So by the time I took the school and started, I was 28. And I aged myself. I grew a beard. I dressed a lot older because I went into that school, urban school district, very high needs, 93% free and reduced lunch. And there was this image of leadership that I thought I had to do. I was the youngest person on the staff, you know, or there were people that were my age, and now I have to lead them. And there's this pressure to be someone. There's this pressure to be the man. There's a pressure to be a leader. 20 years later, my experience is this. I got a turn, and I felt a turn in my leadership, and my leadership became more effective when I began to realize this: a position doesn't make me. A position, a title does not define me. It is my responsibility to define the position. So that's where I am now. And things got better for me when I didn't hide that I was doing something afraid. You know, we say that, do it afraid. You're scared, do it anyway. Those are nice little things on Instagram. We've all seen it. But I did a lot of things afraid, and a lot of things nervous, and a lot of things frustrated. My leadership improved when I did those things afraid and told the other people in the room that I was asking to do it, I'm afraid. And then that let them go, whew, well, if you're scared and you're okay and I'm scared, then maybe we can just work and we can get through this together. And I think that's what authentic leadership is all about. It is letting people know that I don't have capes from the dry cleaner hanging in my closet. I am not Superman. I am not Principal Boy. You know, I have the same fears. I have to overcome and leave family challenges in the car just like you do. It is really giving, can I say this and then I'm talking too much, a model. We're the lead learner, and we have to model for the people that we lead that we go through everything that everyone else does, but let me model for you. I'm having, You know, my mom was sick, and I shared her sickness and her journey with my staff because it's important for them to know I have challenges in my family too, and I am making these decisions and doing these things through the pain of watching my mom be sick. So that's what authentic leadership is to me: is, you know, giving yourself a window, not closing yourself off, but opening yourself up and truly being a model of the things that we require of teachers.
Well, I mean, it takes on a whole new meaning for that open door policy, right?
Right.
Like, and I know you and I have talked about it. You became a principal young. I became a principal young, and we tried to fit what we thought was expected of us. And so, if you felt that way and I felt that way, I'm sure that people in this room felt that way. I'm sure that people out there felt that way. Rob has said, like, so if you're like, that is absolutely true. That whether you're a principal, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a coach, whatever leadership role it is, there is that pressure, right? And so I think the first thing that you have to figure out is, and I know Mac's going to talk about this a little bit later, but understanding why you're doing what it is that you're doing. What is your why? What is your purpose? Because if you don't know that, you're going to be lost. You're going to be scrambling around looking for something like, I want to be like him. I want to be like him. I want to be like him. I want to be like Mike. But
I'm going to pay you for that later. Not right now.
So, but figuring out your why and anchoring yourself in that and saying, okay, now I'm going to operate from this place. And like you said, right, when you figure that out, when you figure out what it is that you want to do, it becomes that much easier because things start to become aligned. And I know, I don't have 20 years in the principal seat, not like my friend here. But figuring that out was super critical. And once you do, I mean, you just kind of figure it out from there. And so I'm curious, Mac, what are some ways, and I know you gave some with your families, if somebody came to you and said, look, I want to be a more authentic leader, what if you had one tip for them? If the people out there watching, what would be that one tip to say, this is my recommendation on how you can become a more authentic leader today?
I think that I think I've already alluded to it. To become authentic, the word authentic to me is revealing who you are. If you don't know who you are as a believer, if you don't know who you are and I say that because my top strength is belief. If you don't know who you are as a person and who you are as a leader, what you want to accomplish, how can you show somebody something that you don't know yourself? If you don't know you, how are you going to share yourself with others? So I'll say the first step is self-discovery. Who are you? What do you believe? And a little later, I'm going to talk about mission-driven leadership. I think that we have these beautiful mission statements on the walls of our schools. I wish I could go in my bag. I could show you my journal for this year. This year, I put my personal mission statement on the back of my journal. We need to have a why do I exist? Why do I get up every morning? And I have a mission statement for my school, but I have a mission statement for myself. I, Michael L. McWilliams, exist to empower others to become the best version of themselves. That's why I exist. So you have to identify and know why you're here. Why are you sitting in the seat? You have to know what it is that you are called to do before you can reveal it to others. You have to know it yourself. So you have to start with your why, and you have to be so convinced that you begin to share that, because oftentimes we share what the expectation is of the seat instead of who we really are. Secondly, I would say that you really have to take pride in why you exist and who you are, and know that there may be a principal down the street that's really, really good at something, maybe celebrated for it. Celebrate them. Develop who you are and become good at it. And surround yourself around the people that have the things that you don't. Because guess what? If they're good at that and you're good at something different, I think about the partnership with me and my assistant principal, who I call a co-principal. Two different skill sets, and you have to be comfortable in yourself to allow someone next to you to be great and celebrate them. Come on, let's do this, because I know what she's called to do and what she's great at and what I am. And I'm not, I compete with myself. I don't compete with anyone else.
Nice.
I did a lot of talking.
It's okay. It is okay. Just one last thought that popped into my mind here is that, and we alluded to it earlier, but when we're authentic, then we allow our staff to be authentic, right? I know it's been one thing, like you, right? 6 years ago now, I stepped into the role at my new school, or at the school that I'm at now. And they didn't know who I was. I didn't know who they were. But the one thing I tried to do almost immediately was say, this is who I am, right? And over time, it's gotten to a place now where they can be authentic. They can come to me and say, hey, I'm going through this issue, right? Or I need to do this. And those conversations never would have taken place because I think like them, like how we were, we put on the show, right? No, everything's okay, right? This is who I'm supposed to be as a leader. Therefore, then the people in our building say, no, this is who I'm supposed to be as a teacher. I'm going to show up every single day, regardless. You alluded earlier to that toxic positivity. And I know not all principals out there are going to like some of the things we say, but we're going to say them anyway. Like,
if you don't,
get rid of that toxic positivity. Like, if you need a mental health day, I need you to come to me and say, look, I'm not doing well. I need a day. Right. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to figure out how to make that happen.
Anybody that works at Savannah knows this, and Claire's here. What do I tell people? If you cannot, what we're doing is too important. It's like every day that you're there, you should push a kid one day closer to the thing they want to be when they grow up. If you're not feeling it today, if you're feeling some kind of way, girl, pack your stuff and go to the house. I'll cover your class. I'll find somebody to cover your class. If you cannot do it, pack your stuff and go to the house and come back when you can. We have to create an environment where people feel free enough to no, let's not fake it till we make it. Because a sub, if you're faking it till you make it, a sub in a classroom with kids that day is better than you. Splitting the kids and they go to other teachers at the grade level that have collaborated with you and know the learning targets. It's better than you being there if your head is not in the game, because it's the future of our kids are in your hands. So yeah, we have to create an environment where teachers, cafeteria workers, custodians can say, I'm not okay today.
Yeah.
I'm not.
So the point here, right, or one of the many points is
points.
that authentic leadership just isn't about you,
Right.
but it's about how you are impacting the school and those around you. Because if you want them to be authentic, then you got to be authentic as well. And I know that we are about to have two of our friends come and join us, and we're going to continue this conversation. But before we do, we got a quick message for all of you from some friends of ours who are not able to make it today. I believe you had a friend, right?
I have a friend
now.
and it is so amazing that I can call him friend now. He is nationally known. He is a consultant for Solution Tree and the founder, CEO of Unfold the Soul, Mr. Ken Williams.
Yes, and Jonathan Alsheimer sent in a video, and a good friend of ours, not even from here in Texas, not even from the States, but all the way across over in England. Well, actually, he's like in Cambodia now. Like,
he was across the pond.
So Lee Hole, we want to say thank you to all of you who were not able to make it today, but you were kind enough to send in some welcome videos. So we're going to pop over to there, and then we'll be right back with two new guests.
It's Ken Williams of Unfold. It's Ken Williams of Unfold the Soul. If you find yourself in the greater Dallas, Texas area on July 30th and 31st, and you're a school leader, do not waste your time touring the bootleg Dallas Cowboys Stadium. You've got better things to do. What you should do is get to the leadership meetup held by Charles Williams and Michael McWilliams up inside the principal's office. That's what you want to be a part of. Live, in-person, collaboration, networking on how you, new and aspiring school leaders, are going to set the tone, set the pace, cast the vision for how we return to schools. The collaborative team is the engine that drives improvement at the school, but the leader strikes the match for change. There's no one else who can ensure that every student receives a world-class education from every teacher and every team. No one but the principal. That's how important the position is. So I hope you find yourself there to connect with these brothers and other leaders. Steel sharpens steel, and get yourself ready to hit the ground with a mission-driven start when school returns.
What's up, Dallas, Texas? My name is Jonathan Alsheimer, classroom teacher, speaker, and author of Next Level Teaching. Here to welcome you to the meetup. I'm so excited for you guys today. The conversations around education, what you're going to learn. Shout out to my man, Charles Williams, who's going to bring it for you guys today. I'm really excited for you. Just the conversations around education, just meeting with other educators, kind of refilling our cup, so to speak, and getting excited for the upcoming school year. Teaching is instilling a love of education, a love of learning, hopefully pushing them to want to do something great later on in life, pushing them to want to maybe be a scientist, pushing them to want to write a book, pushing them to want to be great. One of the most empowering things about being a teacher is this. People from around the community are sending you their pride and joy. They're sending you their children. And because you have the most important part of their life, that makes your job as an educator one of the most valued and one of the most important jobs in the world. What are we willing to do for that child? Because we understand the importance of what we do. Build a love of learning.
Hi colleagues from sunny Cambodia. Charles reached out to me and asked me if I could send you a quick message to say welcome to the workshop that you're doing this weekend. I'm so jealous that you're all in Dallas and having a great time this weekend, but I just want to wish you all the best. You're in great hands with Charles and the team. I'm sure there's going to be some wonderful learning taking place. I'm sorry I couldn't be there, and I look forward to connecting with people in the future to find out what came out of the weekends, the chats, the discussions and the debates that you had. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you.
And welcome back. Look, we've got two new guests with us. We had to do something a little bit different. We are used to having four faces in our little cubes. Mac and I were feeling a little weird just having the two of us here. So we have Claire Springer and Rob Thornell. So we're going to let them introduce themselves first, and then we are going to jump into some questions like we normally do. But instead of having a guest send in a video, we have some live audience participation. So not only do you get to see these beautiful faces, but you get to see all of the wonderful people out there in the audience as well. So I'm going to turn it over to Rob Thornell, a superintendent here in Texas. So Rob, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Not only am I not a superintendent, I don't want to ever be. No, I have been. So just like these guys were saying, this is our first time to meet. We met for the first time last night, but we've been working on some stuff all year. So we're excited to do that. But just a little bit about me. I really enjoy working with leaders and principal and education leaders. I have been an elementary principal. I've been a secondary principal myself in my career. I work in central office now. I've done assistant superintendent and supervised and mentored principals. And now I'm working in a professional learning role as a director of leadership development. So I've done all that. In fact, the little doctor in front of my name, my dissertation was on mentoring first-year campus administrators. And that was a long time ago. I've got a lot of mentor books on my shelf. Some of them have dust on them now, but I still like to pull them out and bring it out and go through that. So I'm excited to be here today to talk a little bit about school leadership and what we can do to help each other and join the conversation. So I really appreciate being here. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Rob. Good morning, SchoolRubric family. I am Claire Springer. I'm so excited to be live with my friends. The one right next to me, I'm live with all the time, as I have been his assistant principal for 6 years in Denton ISD. I am blessed with the opportunity to open the brand new number 25 elementary school in fall 2022. So I'm working through a transition plan right now and thankful to be surrounded by mentors like Mac and Charles and Rob to help guide and mentor, lead, be the voice of reason when sometimes I have crazy ideas. I like to take risks and I like to jump feet first. So sometimes I need someone to say, let's think about that a little bit. So I'm excited to be here, join the conversation. I am a proud educator. I'm a proud mom. And more than anything, I want school to be for all kids for what I want for my own. So good morning and thanks for being here.
All right. Welcome, Claire. Welcome, Rob. So we have a few questions, two, like we normally do. And so we're going to get our first question up there and we are going to get some responses from the audience. And then we're going to, of course, jump in and share our own thoughts and ideas as well. So we've got our first question and we gave you guys a lot of think time here.
I'll read the question. Tell us about someone who you look up to as an authentic leader. What is it about them that signals their authenticity?
And you can't pick one of us because we already went.
Yes. Okay. All right. My name is John Hicks. I'm from Denton, Texas. I am an administrative associate in Keller ISD. And someone I looked up to as an authentic leader was actually one of my former principals, Dr. Sean Perry. Sorry. He is just, when you talk to him, he's like really calm, very unassuming, very intelligent, but he's very honest and very open with you. So those are the things I admire about him.
Thank you, John. So, yeah. So, you know, I love the fact that how you said, right, the authenticity was about being open and being honest with you, right? So I know we talked a little bit about that. And I know it's sometimes very hard to do, right? Depending on what it is that you're sharing. And sometimes there's that fine line, right? About where is it oversharing, right? But I let you know enough so that you know that I'm human, so that I go to the grocery store just like you, that I put on my shoes in the morning just like you, but not so much to where it's like now it's crossing the line. My wife tells me all the time, boundaries, hon, boundaries, right? So we got to make sure that we know where those places are for that authentic leadership.
So Charles, could I add on to that? I think one of the things that he mentioned that I really appreciate was that honesty piece from the standpoint of a dirty little secret in education. We don't always give honest feedback. And so when I thought of that question, I thought about people that have actually led me by telling me the truth, even when it hurts sometimes. And I think we owe it to our teachers, our stakeholders, whoever are leading, to do that. And again, I think that's a dirty secret in education. We don't do it enough.
Well, and when let me pick you back on what you're saying, because you talk about honesty. Anybody that knows me, I just tell it like it is. But I think that honesty is a piece that we have to reestablish. And when we talk about authentic leadership, sometimes we think that it's just about our emotions and sharing what we did and what we ate last night. Oh, I tried cauliflower rice. Woo, it was pretty decent. I'm going to bring some leftovers. It's not just about telling your life. It's about being authentic to get the job done. All of this is about student outcomes. Being authentic is about student outcomes. So yes, we're sharing, and yes, you're letting us know that I am a person, but we have to put the focus on I am a person that's making things happen for kids every single day. And if I can do it, you can do it. So you have to be honest, because if you're not pulling your weight, you need to know. These were the collective commitments, and we're supposed to be in circle time right now. So kids can clear their head for the day, and you can know the temperature check for everyone in the classroom. And I walked by 20 minutes and you didn't do it this morning. Let me give you some honest feedback. So it's not just about me sharing who I am, but it's about me sharing who I am and the expectations. Teachers come back Tuesday, and my stomp speech is the same for every year. I'm going to explain who I am as a leader, what I expect and why, and point it to kids. So you have to be honest and say those things that may be uncomfortable. So the other piece is authentic leadership, building that relationship, because that's the only thing that makes it everyone wants the friend that's going to tell you have toilet paper on your shoe, or your skirt is in your pantyhose. Could you please pull that down? We don't want to see all that. Everyone needs that friend. So you have to, authentic leadership is not just about making you feel good, rainbows and unicorns. It's about telling you your pacing is a little off, or your mini lesson was a maxi lesson. It is, I looked at your data and girl, what were you doing? Authentic leadership is about honest feedback, because we are passionate, and I want to make you better on Wednesday than you were on Tuesday. So
I think too, something that we always speak on is clarity before competence. And so when we talk about having these real honest conversations, that's great, but it's our responsibility as leaders to pave that way and to provide that clarity before we can expect our staff and our teams to have the competence to follow through with that. So next Tuesday, we have clarity conversations built into our schedule with every team and every specials team, just to ensure that individually we have established those clear expectations. And just like our kids in our classroom, our staff are at different places. We have some teams that have worked together for 10 years with no new staff member, and we have some teams that have brand new teachers every year. And so it's important to differentiate those conversations while staying within the mission and the vision and the collective commitments of the school. But I think it's a lot easier to go through your day and your week and your year with the clarity and understanding of the expectations rather than just mulling through day to day and wondering, well, am I hitting the target or am I not?
The other piece to authentic leadership is this, because what is my word? Reciprocity. Is authentic leadership is not only giving feedback sometimes that doesn't feel good, but it's receiving feedback. And again, we're the models for teachers. We have to constantly be putting our finger on the pulse of our school. We do things at Savannah like Friday feedback, which is a forum where, you tell me about me. I do a Q12, the student, the staff engagement survey. We do it 3 times a year, beginning of the year, middle of the year, end of the year. And I take that feedback. I share the document, scores, the verbatims, everything that is said about me, about my leadership. Let me be vulnerable and let me put my data on the table. And then I want you to see me. I'm going to tell you, as a result of this, I am now going to do that. So authentic leadership, again, because you own who you are and you know who you are, you should be able to get feedback. Now, sometimes you get comments that make you go, okay, thank you. That one wasn't feeling me today. But you do what teachers do, because we take our work personally. So you do kind of, get in your feelings a little bit, but you go home, you drink a Diet Coke with cherries and lime, you, get some ice cream, and you come back the next day and you say, it is what it is. And if that's what my staff has told me, then it becomes my responsibility to respond to data the same way that we ask them to respond to data with kids. Okay.
I'm so excited to be on the live show. And as you can see, I've got all these beautiful people behind me, and I just wanted to make sure they got in on the shot. So hello, everybody tuning in at home. I couldn't be more excited to be live with Mac and Charles and talking about authentic leadership. I want to talk about my father, who I look up to tremendously, and his leadership in terms of guiding me through life. He always looked at the positive and the fun of life, and he's really instilled that in me. And, through challenges and through everything I've gone through in life, I've always kind of looked at my father as a guiding light and making sure that I am grateful and positive and just enjoying life and my job. And yeah, so I think his authenticity is always being positive and always being looking at the bright side of things. And so, I also just want to, this is so awesome being in person. Yes. And so, that's authenticity.
So I wanted to jump in on that. I know Ryan said he talked about his father, and I think, many of us may go to our parents or to our grandparents. And the one thing I want to point out, because I had a conversation the other day with my secretary, and she said, Mr. Williams, how does it feel that you're responsible for all these kids? And I was like, why would you say that? Like, I mean, we know it. We know it every day, but it's just like that moment hits you and you're like, you're absolutely right. And in some capacities in those times, like, we oftentimes serve as those role models. We serve as those leaders, those parental figures. And so, when we're talking about being authentic, not only for ourselves is that important, but it's important for our staff. But I think it's also important for the students in our buildings who are looking up to us, right? I mean, I tell my students all the time, when I came in, I was the 3rd principal in 3 years. Wow. So when, the next summer, I was at the re-engagement parties, and they were like, wait, you're still here? It's like, yeah, I told you guys I'm not going anywhere. And so we started having a joke like, look, if I leave you, do you understand the child support on an entire school? Like, I can't do that. So, we have to sit in that position that, yes, we're being authentic for ourselves, but for our staff and also for the students. And I'm going to take it even a step further. We have all of those other stakeholders, the community, our families. So when we're talking about being authentic, this is a huge responsibility.
I think let's move on to the next question. Our dialogue is so rich. And, I just want to point out again that This is our effort. This is why Inside the Principal's Office exists. You know, I have my black book because I'm always getting nuggets from things that people say. Since we started this, I take notes. But I just think that it's great that we are creating an environment where principals, there's only one in a building. You know, when you have, if you believe in the PLC model, your interventionists have a PLC, you know, while we are a PLC, they have groups with like responsibilities that they have an opportunity to share with. But I think that it is great that we are creating this environment where principals can get together and other school leaders can get together and share and get ideas.
You got a chapter in there called Rob?
I do.
I'm just
that day where we were talking about that hat. Oh yeah, they're in there.
That's right.
Yeah. So I know I'm going to get some nuggets here to write. What do you believe about the balance between acting authentically and stretching yourself outside of your comfort zone? What do you believe about the balance between acting authentically and stretching yourself outside of your comfort zone?
Oh, I want to take that one. Can I?
And we're going to get some comments from the live audience.
You guys want to go first? You got something? Okay.
Hi, good morning. My name is Courtney Cullen-Brandell, and I am a principal in Keller ISD, but I'm coming also from the international school system, from an international school in Honduras. I think last year taught us all a lot about balancing authenticity and stretching outside of our comfort zone. And I think the biggest thing to keep in mind is, as a leader, a lot of times we're supposed to know the answers, or so people think. But I think the balance is really in knowing how to facilitate conversations about difficult topics. And when we're outside of our comfort zone is really when we need to be pulling ideas from others in our school. And when we collaborate and whenever others are bringing those ideas to the surface and solutions to these problems, as we all experienced last year, that's when we really grow our community and we also grow as leaders.
I feel like we should applaud.
Yeah. Now I'm not so sure I want to go. Anybody else out there? So if my wife Sarah's watching, she's going to laugh when I say this, but the first thing that came into my mind was Chick-fil-A. And I'm going to probably be in the minority here, but I absolutely hate it when they ask my name in the drive-thru because I don't think it's authentic. And I know they're trained to do that. And I know they get a lot of good feedback. Yeah. I don't need you to know my name is Rob. But
give them a fake name.
Yeah, I do sometimes.
Theophilus. Spell that.
I almost put Donald Trump in there. I said Donald Trump one time, but then I was afraid they spit on my food. I don't know. So, but I do have a point here. And that is, people can tell when you're being fake and when you're being authentic. Your staff knows what you believe and they know when you're just talking crap. And you know, I would much rather walk into Cheers and have everybody say, Norm, Rob, because they know me versus that. And the comparison I will make is when I drop off my kids in elementary school, and I bet every one of our schools has something where they make people go out and greet people. You can tell who wants to be out there greeting kids and who doesn't. Parents can tell and kids can tell. And their authenticity starts before they ever get out of the car. And you have to remember that you're always on duty, whether you're the principal or the teacher. And so to me, that is just something. Every time I drive up to a school, I want to see, how are they greeting us? Is it authentic? Are they happy to be there, or are they happy I'm there? And I think every kid asks that too.
Absolutely.
But I still love Chick-fil-A. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But
would you believe that I've had Chick-fil-A like twice in my entire life? No, at all.
Twice your whole life?
My whole life. My daughter.
Wow.
Dad.
We're gonna have to break up. We just met, but we're gonna have to break up. We're gonna have to break up.
So when I roll up there, I just say, it's me now, and they give me my order.
It's me. That's what it says on your food, right? It's me. So one of the things I wanted to say with this is, I think it's important about stepping outside of your comfort zone. I know a lot of times we talk about be you, figure out your why, your purpose, and ground yourself in that. But it doesn't mean to be so inflexible to say when a new idea, right, something that shifts comes along, like Kelly just mentioned, right? We went through this whole thing where all of a sudden we went from in-person learning to crisis learning to hybrid learning, right? To be able to shift and say, I'm open to new ideas. And not only do you have people within your school, but I would encourage as leaders, Mac and I are not in the same district, not in the same state. I mean, we are now connected.
Right.
We are connected with leaders from all over the world. And so definitely grow that PLM, because you have to create safe spaces to have those brave conversations in order to say, I'm going to step outside of my comfort zone, but I'm going to do so in the space with other people where I know that I'm going to be supported, where I can get great ideas.
I think the word courage is in there. That's part of being authentic, is having the courage as a leader to say, I am going to step out of my comfort zone and try something new.
I think as leaders, you have to look for uncomfortable spaces. I think that should be a bullet point in your journal of things to do. What's going to make me uncomfortable this year? Because leaders are learners. You have to always be learning. What is the next thing? You know, you met your campus improvement goal. What is the next thing? You know, it's asinine to go to work and really want to feel uncomfortable. I think that if we're really going to do what's best for kids, you know, 92% passed the test. Woo! 8% didn't. And if my kid is in the 8% that didn't, you know, that's all I have. That's 100% of my household. So as leaders, we have to look for the uncomfortable things, and we have to address that. I tell Claire and we are big. I buy books, and I buy books in 2s and 3s and 4s because I want everyone around me. There are people in the room that I purchase books. I'm reading this book. Let's read this book together. Let's learn something. Let's get uncomfortable. Let's not just get set with the systems that we're doing, because a leader can do what? A leader cannot take people beyond their own exposure. So if I stay where I'm comfortable, where am I going to take you? If I stay where I'm comfortable, how are the 80%, the 8% that didn't pass the test, how are they ever going to get on grade level if I stay where I am? I have to seek uncomfortable spaces so that I can grow. In a comfortable space, you know, it's all night when you swaddle a baby, you're all comfortable. But if you don't create space, how can you grow if you don't create the space to do it?
You know, Mac, I love to ask principals questions. What was the last book you read that you didn't agree with? That you intentionally picked a book that you knew you weren't going to agree with, or is different? Whether it's reading, literacy, anything like that. Okay, if you're only reading the stuff you agree with.
I like that
going in
question.
my book.
All right, page 12. Page 12.
Agree with, because I was about to give you a list that I agree with. I need to find some that I don't. Write it in my book.
Read this book because it does exactly what I wanted to do.
Excellent. Oh yeah,
You know,
that's deep.
that is deep. In fact, your wife said you're the king of asking questions. So I think too, it's important to remember that everybody's comfort zone is different. And some people are super comfortable with change and taking risks and being out of their comfort zone. And that's easy. And some aren't. So the answer is in the room. And when you're building that staff and building your capacity and building that team around, building the capacity of the team around you, really understanding and getting to know the comfort zone of those people, because you're going to have people that don't like the change and don't like being pushed to doing something different. And this, I mean, change happens. We're going to do something different. That's part of learning and growing and being better for kids. And so, you know, I don't think there's any other way to be but to be authentic and out of your comfort zone, but having a pulse of the comfort zone of the people around you and building the capacity of that team that you're working with.
So we've had a ton of great ideas, a lot of thoughts, a lot of suggestions that have been put out there, but our time is coming to an end. Well, our time here, because we have an entire day lined up. So we're going to have to start wrapping this session up. We're so happy that you've been joining us. But before we do, we're going to get to one of our favorite parts, which is ideas that stick. So of course, we have the four of us up here. We are going to share with you the one thing that we want you to take away on how you can be an authentic leader for this upcoming school year. Well, at least how we plan to be authentic leaders. So I think, Mac, yours is up first, right?
I am up first. And again, this is we want you to identify, as a result of this conversation today, what can you now do differently, and what can you commit to? So my ideals that stick is this year, I want to invite others in. I want to give others a window to me. I want to do a better job of not only saying this is what we're doing, explaining my thought process, my experiences that influence that. So invite others in, give people a window to my thoughts, beliefs, and motivations. That is something that is an action that I can commit to every single day. So what other actions? Who else is going to share? I believe next is Claire. Go.
My idea that sticks is to be a courageous risk taker that is mindful of empowering the people around me. I cannot do everything alone, and I don't want to do everything alone. And it's important to me to build the capacity of the team that's around me so that we can make magic happen for kids.
You're up, sir. I was waiting for my sticky note to tell me what I said. That's not true. It was pretty easy for me. I think when I think of authentic leadership, I talk about being transparent, being reflective, and celebrate. And what I mean by that is, the transparency piece is huge. We can have the belief statements up on the wall and we can say we believe this and that, and do our actions align with those beliefs? If we say we're here for kids, do our decisions match what is best for kids? And your staff will know that real quick. They really, and so will the parents, and even so will the kids. So I think that's a big piece. I think the other piece, being reflective. We're going to talk about that later this afternoon, but being reflective as a leader means being honest with yourself, giving yourself that hard critical feedback we talked about, because you didn't do everything perfect today. You probably did some really good things, but take time. And I think that's a big part of it, is take time as a leader to reflect on your decisions. And I know one of the things I even tell, especially young leaders, assistant principals, watch your principal and reflect on how they made that decision, because you're going to have to do it yourself later on. So those are pieces. And then finally, celebrate. We don't do enough of it. Celebrate and have fun with this job, because this is the best job you're ever going to have. I've been in education 26 years. My favorite job was being a principal. So celebrate and have fun, and let the kids and teachers celebrate too.
Yeah. Before Charles goes, I was just looking at our feed. Thank you, Susan Avery. She says, I wish all parents would listen in, as I believe it would help them as well. Because we've done a lot of things about being authentic with, leader to staff, but parents, community.
So I'm chuckling. Now, this is one of those things, right? I talk about serendipity all the time. Mac just talked about Susan Avery and that, parents like that. That happens to be my mom.
Oh, hey, Ma. Hey, Ma. See, that's right. She said, I'm going to show you about some parent involvement. I don't care if they have gone to Harvard and graduated. I'm going to be involved in what they do. Hey, Ma. Can't wait to meet you.
That definitely was not planned. So thank you. Thank you for watching that.
Parental involvement.
See, now we got to get back on track here. So my idea that sticks, and I mentioned this earlier, was creating safe spaces for that, having those brave conversations. And this is really important, right? As we said before, it's not just for our teachers to be uncomfortable and to be authentic, but for us to do those things as well. And I know this is something that I started with my staff. It's something that they fell in love with. And I know they don't always hear this from me. So I want to say this now live on air. I enjoy having those spaces with you guys, because not only do I get to learn so much about my staff and from my staff, but it really gives me a space to finally be me and to say, no, this is how I feel about this. Because, one of those things in those circles is that we're just all staff members.
Right.
I'm not the principal. Right, you're not my staff member,
subordinate.
Yeah, I didn't want to use the word. It's a dirty word, very dirty. So that is my goal. So safe spaces for brave conversations. Now, as we start to close up, I want to say thank you, and I cannot say thank you enough to the group, the organization that allowed this to happen, which is SchoolRubric. I'll be honest, and I've shared the story that after my first time with them, I was very surprised they allowed me to come back, because it was a hot mess. But they took a chance. They said, hey, we want you to come back. They gave Mac and I an opportunity. And so here we are doing Inside the Principal's Office. And this is not the only thing that they do. They have plenty of shows, Office Hours, Global Take. They have Education Insights, which in fact, Education Insights is a great magazine. They censor the magazine around a single question to try to get varying perspectives around that one idea, that one topic. And we're going to be doing a special edition based off of this today's conference, and just asking those in attendance here to say, hey, what does authentic leadership mean to you? So please make sure that you are on the lookout for this new magazine edition, the special edition, coming to you very, very soon.
we're going to wrap up, and I always love these days. I always get, I was tired when we started, but I get so much energy because I'm so passionate about leadership and passionate about what we're doing. Don't despise the days of small beginnings. It is our goal to scale this so that we can touch more leaders. And I just want to speak very authentically, very transparently from my heart, is that it is not our desire to become personalities. It's not our desire, even from a monetary standpoint. We want to build leaders because we know that everything rises and falls on leadership, and that when we empower leaders, we do what's best for kids. So it's all about student outcomes, and these environments is about empowering us so we can be the best version of ourselves. So we can go out, and every day that we're with kids, push them one day closer to the things they were destined to be when they grow up. That's what Inside the Principal's Office is about. So when you hear, this is Meetup Dallas, when you hear Meetup Charlotte, Orlando, New York, San Diego,
I thought you were going to say Chicago.
Hawaii, Honolulu. Cool. We'll take it. So when you hear about other meetups, that is our goal. We want to come to cities near you. We want to find those pockets of not just supporters, but those pockets of reflective practitioners that want an opportunity to hear other perspectives. We look forward to being in a room with you very, very soon. So thank you, online visitors, for being here today. If you did not share, we're going to ask that you do yourself a favor and those that you influence a favor by sharing this broadcast. His mom told you, not just school leaders, but leaders in homes, moms and dads and uncles. They need this information. Would you share it so that they can do that? We're ending this live portion, but guess what? We have an entire day planned for those who are here. We're going to talk about drivers. What's driving your school? We have schools that are driven by tradition, by personalities. We have all kinds of drivers in school. But today we're going to ask that question, what's driving our leadership? We're going to talk about mission-driven leadership, equity-driven leadership, and data-driven leadership. And again, this is not just some canned presentation. It's all dialogue-based. And we're just kind of go the way the learners go. We're just in this room learning together today. So it's so hard to say goodbye. Not to yes, to today, to this portion of the day. What key? Me. It's so hard to say goodbye to this portion of the day. Give me a hand for that note. Day.
Thank you for watching School Rubric on YouTube. Make sure that you like, follow, and Thank you for watching School Rubric on YouTube. Make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe in order to stay looped in on all of our diverse collection of shows, interviews, panels, tutorials, and more from educators around the globe. And visit us at SchoolRubric.com for even more great content, such as our online articles, Interact magazine, featured podcasts, and more. Thank you.